Very good morning. Patrick Lim from EVIGENCE. I'll make the presentation today in English, 但是如果有什么问题的话，我还是可以以普通话跟你们交流。So let's get started. On my left and my right, there are two cotton produced. They are harvested from the same farm, processed in the same factory, transported in the same truck, and reaching perishable distribution center in Walmart on the same day. The question is, are the two cartons or the case necessary had the same shelf life remaining or the same level of freshness? The answer is not necessarily so, and I'll explain in the next slide. Whatever systems we have applied today for cold chain management, it is not effective. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this problem with the UNFAO saying that $1 trillion of food loss is incurred annually, of which 120 billion of food loss is attributed to supply chain and in-store, mainly largely due to temperature abuse. Perishable foods are sensitive to temperature, that's correct. When you do monitoring by temperature, you are just telling half the story, not the full story. When we talk about food quality, food freshness, remaining shelf life, we're talking about a factor of time and temperature, not just temperature only. So, what we are doing today is inadequate to make sure that food from the farm to the table, before coming to the table, going to the retail market, is properly shipped in the right protocol and making sure that you have full freshness before it's being purchased by the consumer. So right now we're talking about shelf life monitoring. With shelf life monitoring, you need a time and temperature sensor, not just a temperature sensor. When you have a produce from the food producer going to the logistic company and eventually reaching the retail customers, you have the seller, buyer, in between you have the logistic company. Now, when something happens, rejections, there is always questions and argument over whose responsibility it is that caused it. The buyer will say that this is the seller. The seller says that that is the logistic company's problem, not my problem. So there is lack of transparency, there is lack of accountability. What you need is a very simple tool, like a time and temperature indicator, to allow total transparency and accountability all the way from the farm to the retail market and to the table. So with EVIGENCE sensors, we developed a time and temperature indicator. We are promoting unit level monitoring to solve this broken cold chain problem. Having one sensor, which is really low cost, onto every carton will allow you to monitor by carton level, not pallet level, not truck level. Why is unit level or carton level important? In the same pallet, the pallet that is on the outside is getting more lower temperature. The carton inside the pallet, the inner carton inside the same pallet is getting warmer temperature. The shelf life between the two is different. In the truck, the pallet that is closer to the fan and compressor is getting lower temperature. The pallet is closer to the door with constant opening and closing is getting warmer temperature. So the shelf life between pallet to pallet is different. The shelf life between case and case within the same pallet is also different. If you do not have a unit level monitoring system, you will never know the true freshness level of the products inside the case. The visuals indication comes in color code, for example green to red. At the retail end, when you receive the incoming cargo, you see that it's green, you accept it. You see that it's red, you reject it. And this is very easy for the operators to understand when to accept, when to reject. But if let's say some of the workers have colorblind issue, they can always use a apps from the mobile apps that we developed and scan it, you are able to read. And that is really easy and fast. Next, I want to share with you some of the success story, some of the companies, leading companies in the world. As we speak, they are using millions and millions of our sensors every month to achieve a lot of benefits. So this company makes a lot of bread in the buns at their central kitchen. And because there is no preservative, it is only 2 days old, 48 hours. And they calibrated these sensors to 25 degrees C, 48 hours. And making sure that when it comes in store, if it is not used, after 48 hours, it will be disposed. Freshness of the bun, when you bite it, you can feel it. If you go to McDonald's, you buy the hamburger, you bite it, you will feel whether the bun is fresh or not fresh. If it's not fresh, the bun will be very hardened because this is without preservative. So the customer's experience is very important. And of course, they do a lot of inventory rotation using the color instead of the date code. They actually save a lot of unnecessary waste. Next is the customers in Korea making fermented fish. This is calibrated to 0 degrees C for 5 days. When they buy a pack, they don't eat at one go, they spread over multiple times. So it's important that the consumer understands that these highly temperature sensitive products will go through proper management, cold chain management, and therefore they build trust between the buyer and seller for consumer experience. This is really important. Next, we have a sandwich maker who wanted to monitor from the producer to the DC and then to the in-store, making sure that the lettuce they use in front of the counter is always the freshest when they serve it to you, when you buy it. Alright, so they derive a lot of benefits from here as well. Now we talk about ROI. Every customer asks me about ROI. So you can say that on the average, a typical ROI is between 8 to 10 times. Now these numbers are very, very impressive. Sometimes it's too good to be believed. Now if you don't believe me, pick me for pilot, I'll prove it to you. I know that Walmart China is getting into blockchain for food safety platform. Our sensors with dynamic QR code printed by you or by us, they can be integrated into the blockchain system and give a very valuable piece of information, which is freshness and quality of the food, and not just traceability. So this information to the consumer, to the retail market, can be very important. Last, I want to conclude my presentation by saying that what we have done at EVIGENCE Sensor is to make an invisible problem, like all of us agree with cold chain, food loss and food waste, become visible. When it's visible and it's measurable, we can solve the problem. Thank you very much.